What's up, guys? How you doing today? Waiting for my accomplice to join us. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Hey, there he is.
how's it going?
It's going good. Well, we're back, guys. Sorry for the long wait. Had a couple of things. I got married. That's
I
why.
started a new job. I've been busy. I don't need to work 60 hours anymore a week, so that's kind of good.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can keep things rolling this time and try to get stuff back together.
Yeah, and I did kind of have a little bit of health issues with my back, so still recovering from that. It's probably from lifting up all the heavy audio equipment that we've been dealing with.
Yeah, definitely gotta be more careful with moving around some subs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think like our amps are like 60 to 90 pounds.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
on average alone. So
Well,
it's good. So we're just gonna try this live stream setup and see where that takes us, and we can talk reviews. Later on, we can do some different types of videos if we want to do like certain movies to talk about. A lot of this stuff, like everything here, is purchased by us personally. We're not really
we're not sponsored by anybody.
we're not sponsored or anything, so it's what we could do with our own money, and we can only do so much. And hopefully we'll have some more plans down the line.
Especially since I'm married now, can't spend as much money as I used to.
Yeah, that's true. But if we do get any money donated in the future, we'll try to push it towards buying new products or
New
putting it
products,
towards,
or
like,
we could actually buy movies to watch if you guys
the
recommend movies for us
gears,
to watch.
the amount of gear that we've spent just trying to get this stuff up and running too. It's a lot, but it's something that we like to do. We like to hang out and talk audio and video, and hopefully we can see where things take us. So right now we should just kick off where we kind of left off. We were talking about doing reviews of the Anthem AVM70, and we can go into reviewing that. And then we also, Mete got a different purchase, upgraded to the AVM90.
Yes,
So we
yes,
can
I
talk the
did.
differences between there, and on other streams we can talk about a few other stuff. This is my first time like live streaming like this, and same with Mete. So
Yep.
hopefully this
Hopefully this works out good. The audio's good,
this'll-
and the
this should be
presentation's
good.
good.
we can try to make some changes over time, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we're still trying to learn all the OBS stuff and getting the equipment set up.
It's a lot to take in.
Oh yeah, but
All right.
let's
Let's get down to business. What's up, guys? My name is Tony,
My name is Mete.
and this is AJV, where audio joins video. Today we're going over the Anthem AVM70 versus the AVM90. Do some quick comparisons. Mete has owned this these equipment for maybe what, like about a year or so each, maybe longer.
Yes, because I got the 71st as a gift um, from my wife, and it was a fantastic, but it just felt like I needed a little bit more, so I put a down payment on the 90. The dealer I went to took the 70 back in for the MSRP that we paid for it and upgraded to the 90. Um, that in and of itself, with the AKM factory burning down and everything, it was about a year wait. So I'm thankful that my dealer allowed me to exchange that still after it's been what, a year and a half
I forgot
since
about
release? Because I was supposed to get it within 2 weeks when I first
Really?
did the deal, yes. And then the factory burned down. They couldn't get the parts and everything. They actually ended up switching decks. They went from AKM to I think they got
the Saber, I think.
Yeah,
or
Saber
something
in there
like that.
now. Yes.
And we could probably check it later when we're looking at the specs.
Yes.
So what do you have? What do you have working on over there for your setup?
Got the AVM90 now, a Parasound 821 for the front speakers, and an Outlaw Model 5000 for the center, the rear, and the 2 Atmos channels that I have.
All right, cool. And we're planning on upgrading and adding 2 more Atmos centers for you in the future as well.
Yes.
So we can get like a full 5.4 point, technically, right?
Yep, just
I
gotta
always
get
forget.
the back better and all that stuff. Oh yeah, and don't forget I also got the 2 rhythmic 18-inch servo subs.
Yeah, those are awesome. That will be for another review later on as well.
Yeah, still playing around with it. There's tons of different settings on it that you could.
There's so much to explore, and that's the thing too. Is like, I wish we could try it in different areas, different rooms, and stuff like that. Just like I wish we had a theater room to do our testing. Like Paul McGowan from TS Audio, he has his own like studio to test the.
He's
speakers.
got a studio at the factory.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think he probably has a few of them now. It's been a while.
He's got his own recording studio now.
Yeah. So let's talk AVM70. So right now, our MSRP is around 4,000.
It's on sale for Christmas and Black Friday.
3,400.
Right now.
Yeah, it's not too bad too. So I'm trying to remember because I've been out of the AV world a little bit. Like the big comparisons will probably be the Marantz 8805, around that price range. Maybe a little bit cheaper. I can actually check right now
because Marantz just came out with the AV10 to compete with the AVM90.
Yes. Okay. So, if you're looking to step up your game and go to the actual preamp world, this may be a good starter for you.
Yes.
So what does it have? It does 8K like a lot of stuff now.
Yes, all the new models will do 8K now. You don't have to upgrade them from the factory. They come 8K ready.
And
that's another thing. When I did get the 90, it was supposed to be a 4K model, but since they had to wait a year to basically get the new chips in, they all just been upgraded to 8K.
Upgraded it. Yeah. Same with the ARC that I was going with. The AV40 was just the 4K, and you can upgrade it by sending it in or getting a $230 upgrade or something like that.
Yeah. But I mean, I've been the only flaw I have with the 70 and the 90 that I've noticed is whenever you connect Spotify to it, it goes on full blast. Like the volume.
There's got to be a setting.
There's got to be a setting. I haven't seen a setting. I haven't seen nothing. The way I mitigate it is either play it through my Shield, which I don't like doing it because the Shield's an Android device. It'll always upconvert the audio to 48 kilohertz instead of the 44.1, which most audio, music audio is when you stream. I play 433 by, who was that composer?
That's
Do you not remember?
You're putting me on the spot live. This is difficult. Let me look him up. Why are you looking up 433? I got it. I'm looking up on my phone. 433 by John Cage.
John Cage. The reason I do that is because if it's going to come on full blast, might as well come on full blast with no audio playing.
Every single time.
Every single time. As soon as I hit the cast button, 433. Every time.
That's not good.
until Anthem at least fixes the problem. Because
There's got to be something. We can always look into it.
I
We
mean,
could
I've
probably
called their
actually.
customer service. They really haven't given me an answer about it yet. It's a complaint I always see on the forums too. I'm with a bunch of Anthem forums. Um, the one thing I did notice, well, one thing I didn't notice, which a lot of people notice, I don't sit that far away from my Anthem. I sit like what 9 feet away from my rack.
Yeah, you can still see the front screen of it and everything.
You can still see the front screen, but a lot of people complain about fan noise. I haven't heard the fan noise in mine at all with the 70 or the 90.
I think our Panasonic player is usually louder, to be honest.
The and it's a quiet unit too. That's the UB9000.
9000, yeah.
Yeah.
Panasonic.
The yeah, and they came out with a new if you look here, let's see if we can get the
Yeah, so what's the
firmware change.
major what we could do too is
Let me make
you can
this
also
bigger for
probably
you guys.
I wonder if we can take a look at the
Right here, optimize fan profile. Like I said, I've never had an issue with the fan, but I guess some people did, and they basically fixed that with the previous generation of their update. But a lot of people did not like that update because it ruined the base of their system, and that's when
the
they came
fan
up.
noise changed that.
I don't know if it was the fan noise or if they did something else to the firmware, but they basically fixed it over here where the audible distortion and the other minor bug fixes were the bass changes that they did.
But then that's the most recent updates or something like that.
Yes, this is the most recent updates. You could always get it in their here, let me bring this back down
So
for you guys.
but they've been continuing the updates for the AVM90.
Yeah, the updates are almost the same for the 90.
Because I was gonna say
Like this is the
telling me is that
90s website.
they've been keeping up with it, which is nice.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's basically almost the same updates that they give.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Like, see, on mine, they just did the fan profile with the latest update.
Can you maybe later? Can you show your like the settings, how you control it IP?
Yeah, I could do that. I just got to turn the system on because I turned off the IP control. IP control.
Oh, really? Oh my
Yeah.
god. We can always say that for another time too. Like we could do like introductions explaining what each setting does, which would be nice.
Speaking of that, okay, so I was on the phone because I was looking to get a different amp for my speakers. And Anthem, their customer services, I give it to them. They don't pressure you to do anything. The guy was like, "Hey, the amps you have are fine. You don't need to go to the Anthem MRX line for the amps," because I was thinking of upgrading my amps because I just felt like I could get just a tiny bit more. And
the audiophile's dilemma, right?
Yeah, upgrade bug. What can you do about it? So I was talking to him, and he was on the phone with me for like 30 minutes saying, "Hey, try doing ARC calibrations. Do one ARC calibration to 5K, do one ARC calibration to 10K, do one to 15K, do one to 20K, and create virtual inputs." I always forget that you could do virtual inputs on the Anthem. The cool thing about virtual inputs is, let's say I just did it this weekend because it was Thanksgiving break. I did a virtual input for my Blu-ray. I did my regular Blu-ray, which is, daytime watching, everyone's awake in the house, full dynamic range. And then I did another ARC profile called Blu-ray Night. It's a separate input. So basically when everyone's asleep, I'll put it on Blu-ray Night. And I also did an ARC profile with that where I turned off the subs.
So is that a profile that's set from calibration, or is that like an input profile that you set per input?
Both. So actually, let me turn
Okay.
the receiver on real quick, and that way I could log on to the.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's.
Give me one
for
second.
me.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, for me, the only thing I've got is I can 3 different options for my sound for Dirac. So I have the Arcam AV41 and we use Dirac for it. So it only gives me 3 options. I haven't really explored too much in AV receiver can do as much as I'd like to. I just mostly been busy.
We're doing it
I got
live,
enough.
guys. We're doing it live.
I was just quickly talking about how I can run 3 direct profiles on my system. So I'm not sure if I have something similar. This is cool.
All right.
See, now we're getting like really in depth on this, and we don't have to get sucked into this too long, because this is something that we can always dive in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. So as you can see, these are my inputs here. I got 4K Blu-ray, and then I created another input. You could do up to 32 inputs on the.
I see.
Anthem.
This is really clean too. I like the way that their IP control is.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's basically the same for the AV70. So those
Oh
are
yeah,
the things
it
like,
was the
when
same.
you go Anthem.
It was the same
Yeah.
for my AVM70. The same. You could do 32 virtual inputs. So like I was saying, so this is my input for my 4K Blu-ray. So it video inputs HDMI 1, audio inputs HDMI. You could choose from HDMI auto return channel, digital coax, you know, basically any input on the. You could switch the HDMI and the audio. And then you could choose the different speaker profiles. So like I said, the guy that I talked to at customer service said try different speaker profiles. So I got the 4 kilohertz, which for me actually worked a lot better. It tamed the highs down. 20 kilohertz was just too much.
Is that where you just kept it fully open? Like ran it all the way up to 20 kilohertz, are you saying?
No, I ran it up to 4 kilohertz. That seemed to work the best for me. Because when I did the 20 kilohertz, it sounded more like the treble was, it was too tame, if that makes sense. I got pretty bright speakers, and with the 20 kilohertz, it just was too tame. Like there was no treble, or because the reason Anthem does that is the reason they stop it at 5 kilohertz is because treble becomes too directional. And it scatters too much. So what ARC can actually do and what room correction can actually do is, since high frequency scatter a lot, it should actually tone down a lot of the treble, which it shouldn't do.
Yeah. Also, once again, for those who aren't aware, that if you ever hear us talking ARC right now, it's
Anthem room correction.
Anthem room correction. Yeah, because I always sometimes I think of audio return channel, and I'm like, no, that's not what we're talking about.
No, it's Anthem room correction. And
yeah,
it's because every time you have to look for a new update, you have to type Anthem ARC. You can't just type an ARC in a Google search.
Yep.
But,
so this is for anybody who is looking to go into Anthem. The salesman out of it is coming.
Yeah.
But for general people who are watching, who are looking into Anthem's products,
yeah,
this is for a UI. I like this. This is really nice, easy to do. You could do it on your desktop, your phone if you want.
I would actually recommend doing it on the desktop because, like I said, it's one of the better ways to actually do the inputs.
Yeah, same with like if you had a tablet too, I bet that'd be nice to do.
Yep.
When you're sitting there.
So like I said, this was the 2. So I got the speaker profile for my regular Blu-ray at 4 kilohertz. So that's what I felt worked the best for me. But like I said, over here I got the 4K Blu-ray night mode. So I select the speaker profile where I calibrated the system with no subs on. So basically, during the ARC programming, you could actually go in and turn the subs off. Let me actually pull that file up for you guys. I could actually show you that.
You're making me want to look into my my system. Like, what can I do on my equipment?
Oh, and that's another thing the guy told me too, is try to keep the measurements you do close to each other, but try to do more of them. So the default measurements is 5 locations. He said try to do a minimum of like 8. I did 10. But yeah, see this
because I think it also depends on what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah,
like
it does.
For your larger settings.
I had to do more in my, because the way I talked to him about it, I had to do more in my situation. He said more actually is beneficial, but especially in my situation, because I'm basically in a square room. I'm 19 by 19 by 8 foot ceiling. So the bass had to be tamed down a lot.
Sometimes I find that like, if you do too much, sometimes it really brings it down. And then you kind of, we were testing that before, I think. Didn't we like cut off a certain amount or just our for room correction.
Yes, we did.
I think that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, you could name like see
Where-
with this, like you could do different measurements. Like I could do like 3 different measurements, and then I could also create different sets. So like I got 4 profiles. I got 4 kilohertz here, no subs here, 20 kilohertz here, and 800 hertz here is where I cut off the frequency measurement. And then you could also choose like what measurement you wanted to use for that.
Is it the measurement or is it the calibration? Like you're only calibrating up to 4 kilohertz, right?
Yes, I'll show you that.
The
in a
rest
little bit.
of it is open.
Yes, I'll show you that in a little bit. So like say
So this looks kind of similar to Dirac since that's what I'm used to.
so like see how it says no subs?
Yeah.
So what I would do under that measurement, I would turn these subs off. So you could actually turn your speakers off. You could actually have one that's for like say a pure direct mode, or you just want your front speakers.
See, yeah, I like how you have all your different options there too.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
You can turn them off. I think when you're doing do all your speaker levels here. So you could also change them for like, you know, no subs, and then these are your targets. So I got a room
You're starting
gain.
to sell me. You're starting to sell me on switching to Anthem here.
So you got room gain. You could choose your room gain, what frequency you want it. I added a little deep bass boost of 1.75 at 80 hertz, and then I also tilted it down -3, and I started that at 10,000 hertz, just because you see how it kind of got like a peak there on the front speakers. So basically what that does, it kind of tones down that brightness of the speakers, and I basically got that for all of these. As you could see, no subs. And basically I got all the speakers, the front speakers and the center channel running full range for that.
Can you go back to the ones with your subs for a second?
Yes.
I just want to get a little peek of what your subs can do before we do reviews. Look at that. Holy moly. What does that say? I can't. You might have to be zoomed in a bit more for that. I can't read.
Whoops.
20, 15 dB. Oh man.
15, it goes up. It starts going. Going up.
Look how like, wow, that's amazing.
And then subwoofer 2. Look at the subwoofer 2 curve. It basically goes up 10 dB once you get from 20 to 15. But yeah, and then after that,
something good to go.
It basically calculates. It uses the power of your computer's processor to actually calculate the curves. And you could also view your curves from here. You could show all measurements. You could show combined. You could show target. Or if you want to turn these off and just view what ARC's doing, that's what ARC is doing right now for the front left speaker.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dude, I need to go back and look at my stuff now.
Well, see, the nice thing about ARC...
I've been too busy with this.
The technician actually told me this. He goes, the nice thing about ARC is it adds and it subtracts. Where a lot of room correction only subtracts. So ARC, it actually adds and it subtracts levels. So if you got,
I thought most places do that. Or
no, a lot of
maybe
places just
Dirac
subtract.
does.
He said the only other comparable one was the turn off system.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, that's we'd have to ask Shane about that.
But yeah, see, this is my center right here. Like, look at that. It basically had to bring up 100 to 200 hertz. I had a big suck out in my room for that.
Interesting.
Yep. Front right. Look at that. I had a big boominess between 50 and 100. Toned that right down, but I had to suck out, same thing, 100 to 200 hertz. Crank that right up. But if you look at my front left, totally different measurement. 200 hertz.
I'd be curious what I'm curious what the sample rate is for it too.
I think Anthem says they do it at 192 kilohertz. That's another thing that makes Anthem a lot better is their room correction actually does pretty high.
Yeah, it looks very.
Yeah, see how it says convert analog 192? You basically have to convert if you got any analog signals from like a phono player or like a tape deck going into it, you have to convert that analog signal to 192 kilohertz PCM for the Anthem room correction to work.
Interesting.
But yeah, see, like I was saying, the 4K Blu-ray night, I got the no sub speaker profile listed, and I also have the Dolby audio post-processing set to night. So I don't actually have to, every time I'm like, oh, people are sleeping, I want to watch a movie using the surround sound, I don't have to go into the menus, select night mode, select the different speaker profile. I could just switch the input.
The Post processing is kind of Dolby's way of taming down
And they did a good
their
job.
own stuff. Yep.
Dolby did a very good job on
Because
that.
I heard it's like, yeah, the subs aren't hitting as hard in general too.
Yeah.
The bass doesn't fill up the area.
But like this, okay, so I got my tape here, right? With the Anthem room correction on. And then over here with the tape direct, I have the Anthem room correction turned off. And I also had the convert analog turned off too, so it's just a pure signal going to the speakers. No adulterations. It's just a preamp doing.
I need to see if I can do that. I like that, to be honest.
Yeah, at the same thing. I got the phono direct, and then the regular phono. It's once the guy talked to me, it was very easy to do. So let's say I want to add, let's say ARC, right? So I want to insert an input before streaming because I want the ARC night to be after ARC. So I put it streaming, insert, boom, input 7. So I would rename that input 7 to ARC night mode. Right? Hit apply. And I would do the same thing. Hit the no subs, Dolby post processing night. And I would want my ARC is set, I think, at HDMI 4. So I would do HDMI 4. I want the audio input to be HDMI, audio return channel, because it's ARC. And then hit, yeah, this time we're actually talking about audio return channel, not ARC, the room correction.
I'm like, wait, there's no input, is there? I'm like,
Yeah.
you're losing me for a second. Okay,
Audio return channel, and then hit apply, boom, it's saved into the
That's
system.
I need to check to see if Arcam does that at all. Also, I
Or
don't know if they have any.
if you're one of those people, let's say you're throwing a Christmas party, right? Let me delete this input because I don't use that. Let's say you're doing a Christmas party, right? Let's add another input. So you could do Christmas party. And let's say you want a fireplace playing on video input 1, but you want to play the audio from your CD player. Or like say streaming, boom. So you could play video. Your video will still go through, but your audio input would be something totally different. So you could do HDMI 1 for your video input, and then you could do streaming for your audio input, and everything will go through the receiver that way. Or if you want to do, let's say, your digital optical or an analog or even a phono input, you could do that as a separate input. And then you hit apply, boom, it changes the input to Christmas party.
Now I want to see if... Oh, hold up. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the Dirac website. It says there's a get 30% off.
Oh,
now
for
I'm
the actual
curious if I
software?
But that's why I'm like, should I get the base software?
See, with ARC, all that's included. You don't have to, you just buy the processor. You don't have to buy the room correction separately like you do with Dirac.
This is for another time, but I think the reason why I didn't buy the base stuff is because I'm just running them as one channel, I believe. So I'm not going crazy right now.
Yeah, with mine, you get 4 independent channels of bass correction.
So back to the AV70 versus AV90.
Oh, I do want to point out one more thing too. I know you're interested in this. See the master volume scale? You could change it to decibels to percent.
Stop. That's so mean. There's got to be a way.
And this is what I was talking about with the connected standby. So if I had this turned on, I could actually turn the unit on and off using the web browser.
I was going to say, no, that's not the bypass, right?
No, bypass is this one. I have it set to last used.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, because that's where I have my bypass set up.
So the connected standby keeps the network on, so I could actually go in here and turn it on and off using the web browser. I don't like having that on because God knows, let's say if I'm not home and someone connects to Spotify when I'm not home and the system comes on full blast. So I keep that off till they at least fix that problem. And boom,
it's still $4.99. It's still $4.99 for the subs.
Oh, they didn't change the price?
Oh, now it's $4.60. I don't know if I want to spend $4.66.
So getting back to the Anthem.
Yes. Okay, so
the one thing I noticed is
on the AV70,
just the Anthem general alone, the AV7090. I used to have the Yamaha CX5000, and just the Anthem, the surround decoding, I felt like was better. I was getting a lot more stuff in the rear channels even before I had the Atmos set up. Just a lot more was going on, where with the Yamaha, it didn't sound like much was going on in the rear channels, no matter how much I turned them up.
Sorry, I was checking I thought we ended our live session for a bit.
Oh, like you were checking the channel?
Yeah. Sorry. So I was completely zoned out, but that probably doesn't matter. We don't have to repeat ourselves for the people at home. It said that it ended, and I was like, why did the live stream end?
No, I'm still watching it. Yeah, it's still going.
So we're good. Yep.
Yeah. So the
We got-
major thing between the 90 and the 70,
Yeah. So what prices are we talking? We could talk MSRP.
double.
$4,000 versus
It's double.
Yeah, and this is right now where it's black, like right around. Sorry.
And as you could see, Anthem, they really dressed up the website for the 90. You actually have to scroll. Anthem proudly presents our most advanced and sophisticated processor to date.
Oh, they're really trying to show off.
Yep,
This is
the
where all that extra
AVM90.
money goes to, isn't it?
I mean, look at that. They got video on their website.
Look at there's your the personas right there.
Yeah, right here. 32-bit, 768 kilohertz digital to analog converter.
So first off, what's the price of the 90? You said it was around double.
It's
Did
about.
they even show it?
I
They're not even showing it because it costs so much. You don't want to show it off.
I don't even see it on here.
Let
But
me
it's
look at it
it's about double. I think because of the sale now, it might be. Let's see, they sold it for 75. It might be $7,000 or 6,800 with the sale.
Trying to see what the price is for you.
Trying to see if I could find it on here.
So this is probably also either way, with it being at the high, this is probably your top of the line before jumping up to Trinoff, I recall, because I don't know.
Ooh, it is
Yeah,
on
so it's-
sale.
Yeah,
We're not affiliated
only
with them.
3 easy payments of 2,020.
Yeah, it's on sale. I bought it for $7,000, and then they brought up the price at 7,500 when they had to redo the internals with the new DACs. But my dealer
Sounds
honored
about
the
right.
price for me.
Yeah, because you got it beforehand too.
Yes.
So you're lucky. So and the step up from this, of course, will probably be up towards the Trinoff
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
area. I don't know what else there would above because
Without a doubt.
I mean Macintosh doesn't. This is me just being ADHD right now and just going off on a tangent. So let's get back to the 70 versus 90. Why is it worth double the price? It's definitely worth it for you.
It is.
Now it may not be for everybody.
It is if you like listening sessions. You like sitting down, relaxing. You don't have a lot going on around you. Because if you have a lot going on around you, if you have a noisy environment, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between the 70 and the 90. You're not. And
Yeah,
that's
that
with,
quieter noise floor with the DAC and everything like that, right?
just the DAC alone, like with the 90, it brings out the subtle differences. It's very revealing. I mean, I was hearing things in recordings that I wasn't hearing before. Watching movies between the 70 and 90, when there's action going on, you don't notice anything. But if, like, say, there's a musical score going on, it sounds like you're actually watching a play and the pit is below you and people are playing their instruments, the cellos and everything.
Did you get more out of the dialogue as well, I think?
I mean, I really didn't notice.
Or is that more from your center channel?
That's more
upgrade
from the
possibly,
center
too?
channel.
So
But it's a lot more refined. Like, you could hear a lot more, like, a good way to put it is, like, say if a pin drops in a movie.
Yeah. And that you get that mostly from the DAC, right?
Yes.
So you have a cleaner DAC, your THD or your total harmonic distortion is probably a lot is it higher? I'm mixing things up. I'm blending stuff in with stuff that I do at work too. So it's a weird mix.
I know they have better DACs and they have
better DACs. There's probably more inputs and outputs as well.
It also has a different trace for the audio. So the way they design the board itself is a different trace. So basically, the conductors in the board, it's not as many conductors in the board. It has a shorter path for the audio to go through, so it has a lot less chance of picking RFI. It has a lot less distortion because you're going through those tiny traces on a board.
Mhm.
Um, it's just it.
It's almost like separates, but for your separate, right? Like
Yeah, it's
you get cleaner separation, um,
you get cleaner
and
separation. I mean, you've seen my theory. I mean, you sit down and no matter what you listen to, there's always that center image
yeah,
and
clean.
clean center image. When you're
Because I
listening to,
remember we tried the 70 at my place, I believe. Did we try
yes,
the 70 or did we try the 90?
I think we did the 70 at your place.
I think so. And it was just like beyond, like, it made my speaker sound more clear.
Hmm. Imagine the
I was
90.
going from the AVR through 390. So that was just like not even a preamp. I was kind of using it as a preamp. Uh,
But like,
it is very clear. I was gonna
very,
say like the
it's
channel separations are very nice.
it's clean.
Um,
The thing is, like, say like your speakers are here, the sounds sometimes the sound sounds like it comes from here, like wide.
oh yeah,
Than
I
your
did notice
speakers.
that too. Because
So
I think in my room I was like, it sounded like it wasn't coming from my speakers,
it sounds like
and
it also comes from behind and in front of your speakers too.
yeah,
Like it
and that's
just the,
really
you close your
that's
eyes
hard.
and let's say you listen to the Who's Baba O'Reilly, you actually get dizzy a little bit because of the soundscape of the instruments moving around. I mean, you open your eyes, you're like, whoa, it just feels like you got off a boat. But
Always kind of a thing that audiophiles like to look for is uh, having the speakers disappear.
oh yeah,
You know, as much as we like to listen to our own gear, when you can make it seem like there is no speaker there, that's how you know really good.
but I mean,
Um,
if you're doing mainly just movies,
so yeah, because that's what my main question too is. Like, if I'm looking to buy one,
if you're just doing
any
straight up
Joe
movies,
Schmo, yeah. What is there anything else more than
if
this?
you're doing just
Than
straight movies, the 70 is don't pay the extra money. Go to the 70. Um, the reason is because I do use my theater 50/50. I use it for music and movies. I even got Blu-ray concert movies. The 90 is excellent for that, just because it's got that musical aspect of it. Um, let's say you do get the 70 though, and let's say 2 years down the line, you're like, crap, I want to start getting more into music listening. The thing I like about Anthem, and I'll show you this right now, is you could get, let's say, a preamplifier. You get the STR preamplifier, or you could even get the STR integrated. And the thing that's nice about this is it's got something that's called home theater pass through. Let's see
you
if we
can
can
keep
find.
going. I'm reading up on like some extra
Yeah, right
things
here.
real quick
Home
on what the
theater
differences
bypass
are.
mode works without having to turn power on and includes RCA and XLR inputs for 2 subs. So what that means is, let's say if you want to start getting into, you bought the 70, a few years down the line, you want to get into just music listening, 2 channel music listening. You want to get back into records, you want to get back into things, but you want that in the same room as your theater room. You want to use the same speakers. You get the STR, and it's got that home theater bypass mode. So basically, you hook up your 70 to the STR, and when your STR is off, it'll bypass that signal still to your amp, so you could use both of them at once. Does
A
that make
lot of
sense?
people are saying online as well. Just basically exactly what you said. If you're listening to music a lot, you'll get a lot more out of going to the 90. So if you're just a home theater guy, you like listening to music every once in a while, probably won't hear a crazy big difference. If you're looking to get the best of moving up to the 90, get that extra,
Oh,
that better DAC. And then also for the subwoofers. So you said that you can control 4 subs. Um,
yep, 4 subs.
for
The
this
thing is,
70, you can only do 2 though.
two, but that's why,
So
like, if you do go with the 70 and you do want to go to, let's say, a 2 channel listening, that's what's nice about the STR is you can see it's got the home theater bypass for front and left and the sub left and right. So basically, when the unit's off, it'll take that signal and bypass it directly to the XLR out.
yeah, and that's the thing is you can always do Same with if you want to get what is it? It's not bass control. What am I thinking of? I2C control or something.
Yes.
Something, whatever that's called. I'm blanking out. It's late at night for me. But you can also do that to kind of manipulate work your sub where you don't.
Yeah, you got that. You also could do, if you do want to control more subs, you got the mini DSP as well. You could do.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean,
And then, so it has exactly the same amount of inputs and outputs. Maybe
for what, the 70
I guess
and the 90?
I'm just trying to look for more. I'm just trying to see what.
I mean,
Why
the
is
thing is,
there?
the outputs on the 70, it has 2 more sub outputs on the 70.
You mean on the 90?
Yeah, on the 90. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, who here actually has like 8 HDMI inputs? So a lot of the times I always wonder why they have like 8 HDMI inputs.
I don't even think this one has 8 HDMI inputs. That's a good question. I don't think it. I think it's got 6 HDMI inputs on the back. Actually, we could look right now because Anthem's got this nice thing on the website. There you go. 7. It's got 7 HDMI inputs and 3 HDMI outs.
Yeah, that's always nice to have extras if you have like a second display somewhere or you want to do.
Yep, and like I said, the nice thing is it's got XLR outputs for each channel and RCA outputs for each channel.
This is straight up fully balanced XLRs. Where I think if we ever get to talking about my RCam, which makes me want to shit on it some more, that one really just RCA.
Yeah, because you said the RCA for yours sounded better, right?
I think supposedly it is. I don't even remember. I need to check. There's a lot of things going on with my setup that I'm not too happy. Like some.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you got to wait for the updates because I know when I got the 90, the issue was I had 2 subwoofers, right? So I connected it into subwoofer 1, which is right down here, and then subwoofer 2, which is right up here. For some reason, I don't think they had the update ready yet. It was still running on, let's say, the 70 firmware for some reason.
Yeah.
The subwoofer 1 didn't work. It would just come out of subwoofer 2. So they had to wait till they get the update for all the subs to work.
See, but for me though, is like we haven't had many updates, and we've updated and it wasn't as big as you'd think. It seems like it's for another time talking about RCam.
I know the thing about
there's
Anthem
issues
is
with
they do a lot of updates.
There's issues with mine. Yeah, it seems like Anthem really does. And once again, you've contacted them. You've mentioned bugs. That's one thing that I found. Reach out to the people who are making your products, because I'm sure they want to hear back whether it's good or bad. And 2, if you tell them any bugs, you help them find it and be like, hey, have you noticed this? This is an issue. Then it actually allows them to fix it for you before it becomes outdated.
Yeah, because you actually speak to the technicians. Like I spoke to the technician that was there, and he helped me. He helped me with those inputs. He helped me like, hey, try this with your system. Try the different inputs with the different audio profiles.
That's awesome.
That's try doing more measurements.
It's good to see that from a brand.
And the nice thing about it, they're technically 2 hours away from me, 3 hours away from me. Yeah, they're
Canadian.
Yeah, they're 3 hours away from me. I was actually gonna go there because for my honeymoon, but unfortunately because of COVID, they still had COVID restrictions and their showroom floor was closed, so I couldn't visit the plant.
We need to check out. We need
you're cutting in and out.
We need to go to McIntosh.
Oh, there you are. Where are they located? New Jersey?
No, they're in New York.
Oh, are they?
So they're not too far of a drive. So.
But yeah, I mean, I like I said, if you're just doing strictly home theater, not much music, the 70 is fine. If you do 50-50 or 60-40 like I do, the 90 is the way to go. I mean, just the nuances that you hear in the music, especially if you got revealing speakers, you'll notice a big difference between the 70 and the 90 in terms of, like I said, little nuances, background noises that you haven't heard before.
Really get your speakers to disappear a lot.
Oh yeah,
too.
like say if you're listening to, I was listening to Birth of Fifth from Genesis on the 90, and you could hear when he's playing the piano, you could hear him hit the pedals on the piano to like do the stops and like different quarter tones, like the pedals on the piano. You could hear him like tap on those pedals in the background.
Yeah, I'd say anybody who's doesn't want to go full separate route, Anthem does have other options that has the amps built right into it. And I think they should most of the higher end ones, and I know mostly for like the
Oh, here's the price.
Magnolia stuff. So this the thing is Magnolia, like the cheaper Magnolia stuff doesn't have the preamp outs. So if you're talking your best bang for your buck cheap audio receivers, you won't have your preamp out. But I'm guessing that there's probably a lot of pre-outs here. Yeah, so like that one has
You got
main
pre-outs
pre-outs.
for everything.
So if you do want to take that step, but you don't want to go fully separates yet, you can always start off with that.
One thing people I will mention there. One thing people got to watch out for when they do go this route, like say they get one that's already got amplifiers built in. You got to look at the pre-out voltage. A lot of manufacturers, they'll put like 500 millivolts out when it's supposed to be, amps are supposed to usually take in 5 volts. Like this will say, let's see if it gives us a spec of what the voltage output is.
One thing too.
Yeah, right here, pre-amplifier, 5.2 volt RMS output.
Now you got me checking my stuff.
You want to make sure the voltage output for those is high up, because I know there are some.
So I'll say so on my downstairs setup with the 390, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember when I put that 4-channel Rotel on there?
For the downstairs?
Yeah. Like how much of a difference that made?
Oh,
like
yes, for your Polk speakers. Yes.
Yeah, because I have like cheap, like $200 Polk speakers, the Monitor 2s, I think, or the Monitor 80s, what they were back in the day. And they, first of all, going from the Pioneer Elite to that Arcam AVR 390, huge step up, a lot more clear. But as soon as I went somewhat separate by pushing it out to 4-channel, it was like night and day. There's so much more power going to it, so much more separation. It was so clean. So that's like a good like baby step if you want to go for that. If not, you can just say F it and just go buy full preamps and separates. I mean, it gives you that opportunity to try that. I'm just trying to check my specs now to see if it has the.
Here we go, user guide. I'm downloading a user guide right now for a Yamaha product, and I want to check and show people what the pre-outs would be. Let me see if I can find it. Pre-out.
Because the Yamaha you had before was actually.
But that was actual preamp. It wasn't an
that
AV
was an
receiver
too.
That's why I'm trying to show the people that like some pre-outs on like AV receivers, they don't output the voltage that you actually need to run an amplifier.
And now, I mean, we kind of basically went over the quick justifications, but that's something that we can look in the future. Is hopefully we can have people call in, ask them about equipment that they're working with or what they're looking into, and that'll give us some time to just look things over. Okay. I'm here to learn. You're here to learn.
So I did find it on their website. So you see rated output impedance output, front, left, right, center, surround, and subwoofer 1 volt.
So you're gonna
maximum output level is 2 volts.
You're gonna have to show it on the.
Let me see if I could zoom in a little bit for you guys.
I was gonna say I didn't see that on the stream right there. I feel like an old man trying to read that.
Zoom, yeah, there you go. So like say this is actually it's like $1,300 for this AVR. But it, like I said, if you're hooking up amps to it, if you look at the pre-out levels, it's only 1 volt.
So what happens with that if you have it
So
too
that means,
low?
let's say if you have a 300 watt amp that you want to hook up to it, that 300 watt amp, especially if it doesn't have any gain controls, is not going to be outputting 300 watts with 1 volt output.
So it's going to be really quiet, right?
Yes. But where, like, say, if you look at the Anthem AVR, the output for the preamplifier on the RCA is 5.2 volts and 7.1 volts for the sub output. And I think it's like that with every one of their
and that says maximum
receivers.
output though. What is it? Does the other one say maximum output 1 volt?
Maximum output is 2 volts.
So that's the thing, is like, but that's my question too, is like, do you ever really go to 5 volts? I don't know. This is just, I'm just
Well, it's
asking
what the
questions.
amplifier is expecting.
Yeah.
So if you're not giving the amplifier what it's expecting, it's not going to be outputting what you paid for.
That's it. Overall, Anthem seems to be a winning brand here. They have a lot going on for them.
I mean, like I said, I like them.
That's the amplifier you're currently using. Their amplifiers are expensive too.
For who? Oh, for
Anthem.
Anthem, yeah.
Because you're looking at those Anthem STRs, I think.
I was looking at the STR, but I figured it'd probably be better to get a matching center channel than an amp. And a lot of people say the amp I got now, the Parasound, they say that's, some people rate that better than the
honestly, yeah, you're kind of better off just waiting till it dies at that point.
They're saying if I do want to upgrade, it'd be better for me to go with the A21 or even the JC1, which is
Plus, right?
Yeah, that's an expensive amplifier. Just because, no, it would be the JC5. They said go with the JC5.
Although you liked my Rotella as well.
I did.
Stuff.
But
Rotella did come out with a new amplifier too, by the way.
Oh, did they?
Yes. Not the Mitchie ones, but like their home theater multi-channel amplifiers. That's what I have.
Yeah, the JC5 is $7,500. Jeez, that's an expensive amplifier.
Yeah, so you know how I have the R&B 1585 200 watts by 5 channels?
Mm-hmm.
The new one is the Mark II, and it has 210 watts per channel. So they got an extra 10 watts, an extra 5% power.
I know the A21 Plus has got an extra 50 watts of power than mine. It's got 300. But the JC5 has 400 watts of power, which is the same as the Anthem STR amp. But the STR amp is a little cheaper. But from the people I've asked and what I've looked at, the specs on the JC5 are better. It's got a lower noise floor. It's got better input impedance for an amplifier, meaning that the amplifier can actually receive a signal better from your preamp. So, I mean, I'm actually, like I said, I might just upgrade. It's better to upgrade. It goes speakers, processor, amplifier. I think that's the way it goes in terms of what you would notice in quality. So speakers will be your biggest upgrade.
I think room is also a key factor too.
No, yeah, room is a key factor.
There's always, so that's what I've learned too, is like you have your diminishing returns, you have your splitting thing, like, oh, you gotta spend money on cables, all that BS stuff.
The more you pay, the less diminishing returns you would get. So like say if you go from $1,000 to $2,000, you'll get a 50% increase. But if you go from 2,000 to a $5,000
like a 70 to an AVM90,
I paid double the price, so I paid 50% more, but I probably got, for movies, I would say 10% increase in movie quality, but probably a 50% increase in music quality. So
yeah, and that's the question: is how can you get the most out of everything? And sometimes it's just like the tuning and the tweaking and stuff like that. And honestly, sometimes I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, I enjoy it. I'm happy with it. I mean, I've hit my level, my high level right now, I think.
You don't. You tell me you don't get the itch anymore to be like, ooh, well,
I
can I
just
try
I
this?
to me, I think I need to get a better room. And I'd say you probably feel the same way too.
Yeah,
Like having an actual
especially a square room. Square
dedic
rooms are
a,
bad.
a dedicated theater room would be nice to have with the right carpeting, the right size, the walls, the right power. Because right now I'm running everything off of 120 amp circuit, and I would really love to have something well grounded and.
Oh, that's another
But
thing the Anthem guy told me to try too. Is he said,
oh, plugging it,
plugging it directly into the wall instead of using a
yeah,
power key. He said, try it. Some people like the sound
for the amplifier or for the preamp.
for the amplifier. He
Yeah,
said the preamp, since it's not a high current, since it's a preamp, it's not a high current circuit, it won't put stress on the power conditioner as much. Where the transients, the dynamic range, the dynamic headroom on the amp might require more directly from the power outlet versus where a power conditioner might not be able to keep up with it. Because if you look at
but
power
like
conditioners, most of
some
them
of
are
them do
rated
have it though.
for, yeah, but most power conditioners, they say high current, but their high current's only like, I think it's 15, 10 amps or 1,000 watts. And I
We
think
need to
it
we need to do
resets.
some listening and
Yeah.
comparing our. I've got like the Elite 15 PFI. I've got what the highest end of uh Panamax, which I don't even know if Panamax even sells them anymore.
I think that's the same one I got, isn't it?
I think you have the lower. I have the highest and like the second highest, and I think you have the second highest as well.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, there's so much.
Oh wow, it's on sale right now. That's amazing.
What's on sale?
The one that I have,
The
the
Panamax?
M5400 PM. It's regularly 1050. It's on sale for 550 right
M5400 dash what?
now. M5400 PM. So that's my high quality. That's like my big one that I have.
Ooh, it's like half off.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not. I didn't. So I'm one of those people that I'm not buying it because I think it's gonna make audio sound cleaner or
You buy it for
purer
the
or anything
protection.
like that. Yeah, I buy it for the protection. It's there. It's gonna last me a lifetime.
So
It's not
that's the
gonna.
thing that scares me about plugging the amp into the wall. But he said, "Oh, put in a whole home surge protector," but then, you would have to call an electrician, and yeah,
That's a whole nother
that's a
thing
whole
too.
nother ball game.
I think it too is like,
Just to get that extra 1% of audio clarity.
and that's the other half of the thing is like, I feel like it's something that if we knew like it made that big of a difference, we would have already been doing that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when people say they're like, "Oh, there's arsenic in apple seeds or whatever." It's like, "Oh man,
Yeah, but
we gotta tell everybody
you
to
and me, we eat
stop
the whole
eating
apple.
apples."
We eat
Yeah,
the
we
whole
got
apple.
everybody to stop eating apples right now because, you know,
Everyone looks
word
at
will
us
get
weird
around.
because we eat the whole apple, the core and everything, except for
Yeah,
the
I don't know.
stems.
I just got used to it. I don't know.
But the
It's just
arsenic.
easier. It's easier to eat it in my
I think you
opinion.
got to eat like 20 pounds of apple seeds.
Oh yeah, no, you have to like literally. I mean, I think eating bananas gives you more.
Radiation
Doesn't
or
that give you
something.
more
Yeah.
radiation or something like
Yeah.
that? It's like a. I can't. I shouldn't be giving out medical facts. I don't know anything about. I think I'm better at the audio video stuff. That's my talent.
Jeez, we've been streaming
So
for an hour.
yeah, no, I think it's good to wrap it up. We can try doing more live streams later on.
Yeah.
Feedback is helpful. Hopefully, with this, it might be easier for us to just start talking. We could talk more with people out there.
Oh, we
Um,
should talk about Oppenheimer. Maybe,
yeah, that's
hopefully
that's
next week.
something
We want to do like we want to start doing movie reviews too.
yeah, we could talk about that too because we tried. What I also want to see.
We got I got Titanic coming in.
Yeah, December 5th, right?
I might
Yeah,
have to
so
wait
there's
to
like
Christmas for that.
there's things we can. I'll have it by then. Don't worry. There's things we could talk about for movies like, um, we could try to watch certain things like the beginning of Oppenheimer. Great for demo, but there's a couple things that I found wrong across my two different home theater setups. But it'll be good to kind of start that conversation, see where things can go.
Yeah, we could talk about
Talk,
the audio of the movie, the video of the movie, and just the movie itself.
Yeah.
Like,
And I would love
what's
to I'd love to have conversations with people who are watching.
what's that
s-
one movie?
Oh, I know exactly. Edge of Tomorrow,
Not Edge of Tomorrow.
because that one's got a different
Edge of
Blu-ray.
Tomorrow was a good movie.
But you said it has a different Blu-ray
Yes, it does have a different
sound to
Blu-ray
it, right?
mix to it.
So that's another thing that we gotta check.
It does have a different Blu-ray mix. But I'm talking about that one movie with the Pearl Harbor attack that everyone demos.
Oh, Midway.
Is it Midway?
Yeah, the one that we saw a
Yeah, like
million
it's
times
great
where
for
the planes
demoing,
fly
but the
over.
movie itself is
Yeah, I mean, there's certain movies that are like, wow, especially you see it the first time, and then after that,
like Oppenheimer,
um,
man. That was like
dude,
Christopher
I
Nolan went hard on that movie. He did. It's probably his best film.
we could probably talk. We shouldn't be going.
No, because we'll be on
right
for
now.
another hour
Yeah.
and a half.
But either way, we've got. So there's a lot that we've been trying to unpack and do. We did the AVM70 versus AVM90. Next, we can talk about.
We could talk
Like,
about the rhythmics.
we could talk about the rhythmic
Or
subs.
what sub do you have?
The rels. So I have the 15 inchers and the 12 inchers. I have them set up differently across both of the rooms. We can talk about my Arcam AV41. We can talk about the Tel amps. We can talk.
I do like that Rotel amp. Those
Yeah,
things that make
it
my
did sound
speakers
really
sing.
good for you too.
Yeah, that's what's got me the itch. That itch.
I need to figure out that
It's your
humming
fault.
issue
You did
too.
it. It's
The
your
hum
fault.
though
You did
that
it.
I'm having right now.
It's because
Yeah.
you're a mile away from an AM tower.
Probably.
I swear to God.
Yeah,
That's
because
what
it was
is.
picking it up earlier. Remember when I? Yeah, because I had the extra RCA plugged in or something.
I wonder if you got to
And it
build
was
like a
picking
Faraday
it up.
cage around your plugs or something, or your
I'll have to
RCAs.
check. I'll see. I just need a new location. That's all. And then we could talk about your SVS ceiling speakers that you can see up there hanging like bats.
We still got to put the other ones in.
Yeah, we can put the other ones in. We can run the extra amp. Get you set up with a 4. I have 6 Atmos speakers currently. You have 2. I'm telling you, man, too. Like, once I went back and saw something in your room, it was like I was missing more to it. I didn't realize how much filling that those extra Atmos speakers were.
Because what I have now is the bare minimum Atmos setup, the 2 ceiling speakers. Like that's like.
I love how it's like the bare minimum, but then you have high end speakers and high end subs.
Well, that's why
preamps.
I have the bare minimum is because all the money went towards that.
Yeah, and the dishwasher back there.
Oh yeah, that don't even get me started about the dishwasher.
You gotta have a subwoofer dishwasher. But yeah, so hopefully we'll try to keep things rolling. It's not the easiest thing in the world, especially when you have full-time busy lives and try and make things work.
Full-time, I got full-time work, just got married, and I'm going to school. Yep.
I just switched over to a new position in my job, so I'm gonna have a little bit more free time. But I'm also like learning a bunch of new engineering stuff, so it's a lot to take in.
Oh yeah.
But we can end that for today. Hopefully that helps. Maybe we can make a quicker video just to do the quick differences between them, because some people want that sped up. But feel free to give us a like and subscribe, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, and like we said, put any questions or anything on the chat. So we try to read them as much as we can and try to answer them as much as we can. We'll hop on and either shoot a quick text.
I think
on
it'll
the
be cool to do like live phone calls, talking about people's setups.
We can make a Discord that people can join,
answering questions, stuff like that. Yeah, just to help people, because I know we've been in the audio game for.
Geez, I've been in the audio game since I was like.
You've been in it longer
10.
than me, to be honest. Yeah, I started getting into it in 2015, so that was like.
My dad bought me audio equipment when I was like 10, 13, like those little like boombox things back in the 90s, and then my first bought like a tech amplifier at BJ's for like $179. That was like my start into
Dude,
home theater. I had Servant Vega speakers, like a home theater in a box. Like it was just speakers hooked up to that amp, and that's how I started.
I was one of those people who thought like the Bose was good. The all-in-one systems
Well, it's
were good.
because that's the way they set them up in the.
Yeah.
I mean, you've learned how they do it. because you worked in retail. You know how they.
Shout out to my friend Steve who got me hooked, because I remember he told me, you probably want to spend around $700 for like a good basic surround sound setup, and I was like shocked. And I think now I'm at like 50K plus for a home theater, which is
Well, that's
oh
the
my
thing
God.
about everyone's got their hobbies. Some people
You
got
yeah,
cameras, some people got
some people
PCs. I mean, that's
yeah.
it's a hobby. You just build, you just keep
Yeah, I
slowly
mean,
building up.
it's over years too. So, I
Hmm.
mean, I still listen to my first good pair of speakers that were $200 a piece,
Yep,
and they're still holding up.
I still got mine in the
Your Polks and your
the
yep,
pokes on the main side with my Pioneer Elite
they
AVR.
still they hold up pretty well. So, and that's another thing for the AVM90 and the AV70. I swear it's like all the time they're like, what can we get more out of speakers? They're like not really diminishing returns, but like how much more can we get closer to perfection? And we're at the point where like, what is
The only
next?
other
The
way
next is
we
going to
could
be like,
go is a turn off, and that's like that starts at like what 25,000.
but even in, I think they have like $16,000 ones. Say,
But
but
and the
maybe
thing
I'm
with the
wrong.
turn off too, I think you got to pay for the licenses. I
Yeah,
don't know. I
but
got to
also
research
so,
that.
but even so, like in the future, like 5 years from now, what are we gonna see up in the
Oh yeah,
probably
that's
just better
true.
room correction?
Well,
But
see, that's the nice thing about Arc and Dirac is it always updates.
yeah, and that, how
Or
far are
like
you
if you
gonna
get
get?
like the Yamaha, the YPAO, or the what's the one that Marantz uses?
Odyssey.
Odyssey. Those usually come pre-built in, where like the Dirac and the Arc, you use your computer to actually do those measurements. Because I know
Yeah, I
you
do
do.
like that. You have
Yeah.
a lot more. You have a lot more control. You see more data. You can really tune it the way you do it.
Oh yeah, big time. Like I said, I mean they're still updating Arc. The only thing that does suck about it is that when you do see an update, you're like, oh, I got to rerun my room correction, see
Yeah,
what changed. Because I think Anthem the Arc is at 1.74 right now. So yeah, I mean it's a hobby. You just use it,
yeah,
kill some time, sit down, enjoy music, enjoy movies. That's what you do.
yeah. So hopefully we get some responses soon. And we've been doing this for 68 minutes. All right. Yeah, we need to start cutting off. Maybe we'll try to make a shorter video for those who don't really like this type of setup. We could do a quick like run and gun, get talking to it quickly,
Yeah.
and get it done over with. So I think it's good to wrap up. Thank you. Feel free to give us a like and subscribe. And we we'll try to figure out a schedule on when we'll start going live to try to keep up to like a normal routine.
I
But
think
right now
it's
we're just
better
trying to
instead of
feel it
doing a
out.
schedule, we'd probably be like, okay, we'll do like two videos a month, 3 videos a month, something like that. Not
Yeah,
like a
I mean,
weekly
even if we could do
schedule.
like a Friday night stream or something,
Yeah.
something to get people talking and start a better community. Reach out to other people in the communities as well.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, everybody. Anybody who's watching still, you guys are brave souls, and hopefully we can get more cooking for us. All right,
All right, everyone, thanks for joining.
you have a good one.